Hey everybody, Jen Keenan here at the Four Squares Residential Group at Keller Williams Real Estate, coming to you with my Love the Way You Live video series. So this year for 2021, we're going to change up our video series a little bit. In the past, we've talked about loving the way you live in your own home. This year, I want to talk about loving the way you live in another city. So with me today, I have my friend, Peter Dorwin. He's at Remax Realtech in St. Pete's and Clearwater Beach, Florida. So I thought it would be great to interview another agent to see, what it's like to love the way you live in another city. And because of COVID, and certainly here it's winter in Boston, what better place to start than Florida? So thank you, Pete, for joining me.
It's great to be here.
Great. So I'd love for you to talk about your market a little bit. And as you're doing that, I'm going to pull up the map so people can get a sense of where we're talking about. Certainly, we're on the west coast of Florida in the Gulf. Most people up here, I would imagine, are familiar with the St. Petersburg, kind of like flying into Tampa airport, going out to the west coast of Florida. So talk a little bit about your market and where you are and what's happening out there.
Well, it is a very popular area. We get voted best beaches for our sugar sand year after year. I know the Gulf of Mexico up in Destin likes to argue of who's got the better beaches. We got the better beaches. and it is a very small area. And again, Jen, if I were you, I would zoom out, because one of the misconceptions we find is how small Florida really looks on a map. And when you zoom out to the whole state of Florida, you're going to see how little of an area we're really talking about right there. You see, We're halfway down. We really don't get freezing temperatures, even though today I'd say it's freezing because it's 62 degrees.
Oh, boo-hoo.
But we are an hour to Lakeland. We are an hour and a half, 2 hours to Orlando, Disneyland, all that, our Disney World and all that stuff. And where I live is about where that blue dot is.
Here. Yep, Palm Harbor, right?
I would say that's a good 20 to 30-minute drive to Tampa International. So
okay, that's not too bad.
Very convenient.
So, just for comparatively here, Greater Boston, you can be to the airport within an hour, of Greater Boston, depending on traffic and time of day. So it's not too different from where we are here.
Right.
Tell me what's going on in the real estate market there, because I think, as we've talked about, a lot of people are thinking about making a move because of COVID. They want more space, they want different space. And I think because a lot of people now are deciding to work remotely, they can up and move now. They don't have to wait for retirement. So talk to me about what you're seeing in the market down there. And of course, it's very seasonal, right? You're in the middle of your kind of winter snowbirds right now. So talk a little bit about the juxtaposition of that.
Thanksgiving is really kind of the beginning of a year, funny enough. Whereas in Boston, you're thinking holidays, family events, and not that we don't, but we're really looking at not just retirees, but just everybody looking at moving in here at this point of the year. COVID did change things a little bit, where usually our slow time is August and September, but it's not terribly slow. Right now, it's gangbusters. So you've got seasonal snowbirds, as we call them, coming down. They're looking for condos, they're looking for houses, and I think we could focus on two main areas that that we would find to be the most hot zip codes in our market, and those would be Dunedin and St. Petersburg. Now, St. Petersburg got a couple different things, but Dunedin is, I swear, what everybody's asking for right now. It's got 18 brew pubs. It's got a cute downtown. It's got spring training of the Blue Jays. It's got the Pinellas Trail, which makes things golf cart friendly, which is things I wanted to bring up. You're trading in your second car as a retiree and getting a golf cart.
Okay.
And they're pretty decked out golf carts.
And so where's Dunedin, just so I can point it? Oh, yeah, I see it right here, Dunedin.
Dunedin is just right there.
Okay,
So
great.
Dunedin, Palm Harbor area is where younger people, I think, are moving because of the lifestyle.
Okay,
The
great.
you know, if you're worried about schools and you're worried about just, you know, homes and value, then those are two areas of huge interest to people. Safety Harbor as well, just to the right. So that whole little section there, I would say, is the family-friendly, desirable zip codes of where we live.
Great. So not your retirees, your younger people, your families. I mean, you might have some sprinkled in there, but that's
They,
not where they're mainly going.
right, right.
Okay. Great.
Mhm.
Great.
Now, as you go down towards St. Petersburg, it's a little more funky. You know, St. Petersburg's got its own vibe, and that's why, you know, we wanted to talk about that as well. You've got a lot of 55 and over communities, condos. You've got an old flavor, which you know, we could certainly talk about in some historic areas.
We're
And
not too far from the 55 plus communities,
then
Pete.
I'm 12 years away.
I'm closer than you.
But as a lot of those little finger islands with single family homes and condos, which are hugely desirable because it's the beach and golf light, which is what people, yeah.
Cool. I wanted to show, let's definitely, you sent me some examples. So let's definitely show some of these properties. Let's start with the single families because here, in Middlesex County where I live, the average sale price for a home is around 700,000. And as I mentioned to you, you're going to get a 3-bed, 1.5 bath, maybe a 4-bed, 2-bath if you go a little bit further out into the suburbs. Closer to the city will need a little bit more work. Further out into the suburbs, it'll be in a little bit nicer condition, perhaps newly renovated. So somebody who's thinking about moving their family might be looking for some sort of comparable price point. So I'll show a couple examples that you sent me as you talk them through. We'll show what that looks like from a property standpoint. So let me do my share screen again here. So here's one great example.
Right.
This nice looks like a multifamily that we would see here, but this is a single family home.
Yes, this is a single family home that you're going to find out towards the water. In fact, I can see already this one is on water.
Great.
Be one of these little channels that we saw, those little things that truck is parked underneath. And again, you call them single families or multifamilies, is because everything now needs to be built up.
Okay.
For flood reasons. Obviously, that kind of leads us into why would this house be up on stilts? Well, because it's in a flood zone. Flood insurance is something that we have to deal with. Knock on wood, we haven't been hit by a hurricane, but those are the building codes.
Yep. Okay,
a lot
great.
of these are going to have elevators as well, which is kind of
cool. Interesting. Okay. Yep. Let's see. Let's pull up another one here. You sent me this one, which is lovely.
This would be a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage home, probably around 28 to 3,200 square feet.
Okay. And this is in that 700 price point.
It is. I believe this one is actually in Safety Harbor.
Okay, great.
Which is a great suburb of, a commute to Tampa. It's right around the corner from where I live. And this would be a very good family neighborhood, probably gated as well.
Great. Okay, great. And I know you sent me one more, so let's take a look at that just so we have a comparison. And people love show and tell, so we'll show them. This house I think is beautiful. Really spoke to me when I saw the picture. This looks like new construction.
It is new construction, and as much as we would love to, sorry, I had a daughter walking through the living room.
That's okay.
Working from home, right?
Right, it's reality.
So right now, what we're seeing in St. Petersburg is infill. Either tearing down of old houses that are just, tired and ready to go, or empty lots. And this house here is, I believe, starting at 650, probably about 1,800 to 2,200 square feet. But it's going to have all the new bells and whistles that you're looking for.
Great. Yeah, and that's again, that is, that's very comparable to what you're going to get here in terms of space and bedrooms and baths and a nice community. So then obviously, the other option here is to sell your home here, move to Florida, pay cash for something or close to cash, because the cost, your money goes much farther to some degree. And I certainly think if somebody were thinking about downsizing, they're going to be looking at a condo. And so condos, do you find those are more like in that St. Pete's kind of grid, that old grid, or are they just sprinkled around the coast, buildings with views?
We have condos pretty much everywhere. And we're finding that Pinellas County, which is the Clearwater St. Pete area, it's kind of an anomaly. You can get some very affordable housing in other parts of Florida, and I hate to talk about ours being not as affordable, but it's a desirability. We've got lots of jobs. St. Pete and Tampa are two huge cities where there's a lot of work.
Yeah, what kind of work? Like, what are your big industries there?
Obviously, tourism, which is still flourishing to a certain degree, and then obviously we've got healthcare because we have, it's St. Petersburg has always been kind of the retiree white sneaker community, but it's gone down 22 years in average age in the past decade. So
Interesting.
people are moving into St. Petersburg, but I'd say healthcare and tourism are our two biggest industries.
And certainly healthcare. I mean, we have a huge healthcare population here. We have some of the best hospitals in the country: Mass General, Brigham and Women's. We have Harvard Medical. So certainly there'll be healthcare professionals looking to make that transition. And, it's easy enough for them to get a job there.
Yeah. In fact, we sold one in a building that I'll show you in these photos to a doctor that works oncology at All Children's, which is in downtown St. Petersburg. You've got Moffitt Cancer Center. So you've got two world-renowned hospitals here as well.
Great. All right,
sometimes people don't really appreciate the Florida healthcare system, but they are top end.
Great. All right, let's look at a couple of these condos.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the first one.
This is going to be in one of my favorite buildings downtown. It's an older building, but seeing a huge turnover. It used to be like a retiree building, and not to knock it, but younger people are moving in because this is steps from that hospital we just talked to. In fact, this is my doctor friend's condo after the fact, after he remodeled it.
It's lovely. All right, let's look at a couple others. I love the variety that you send here. So
that's walking to everything downtown.
Awesome. Okay, talk to me about this building here, the Beacon.
That's the outside of that building.
Oh, okay, great. It looks very retro, very, like
flair there.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's see. And have a nice water view here.
So that's going to be more of Dunedin, which is where I just said that a lot of single families are, that we've just showed. But that over there, that island is oh gosh, I'm going to forget the name right now.
That's okay. It'll come back to you.
It's in Dunedin. These are 55 buildings that are out on the island, which are very highly desirable because of just the lifestyle. I mean, you're at the beach.
Yeah, that's great.
Two-bath condo for under $300,000.
Amazing. And the last one we have here to show, this might be the same. Right here.
That's the other view. You can see how when you're looking north, there's just nothing. That's just a state park on the backside. So, I mean, you're really living, the paradise life, and you're only 10 minutes to every amenity you could think of, shopping and downtown.
Love it. Yeah. Beautiful. So talk to me a little bit about public transportation, because here, certainly the closer you are to Greater Boston, we like our Ubers, we like our bikes, we like our T. I mean, we don't love the T, but the T is there in terms of not being car dependent. Certainly when, my friends and family who are out a little bit further in the suburbs, they're in a very car dependent area. You mentioned golf carts earlier. what is the expectation if somebody were moving down there? Car versus no car, public transportation, golf carts, etc.
You need a car.
Okay.
I would say you need a car. We have better. Our road system does get jammed, and it does create a little bit of havoc, but I don't think anything like Boston. I've always heard.
I'm sure it's not.
We took the train in the last time I was there. You are car dependent, as far as the golf carts. Certain communities you can kind of cruise around and go to the watering holes and things of that nature, but you are car dependent. We've got tons of Uber. We've got tons of Uber Eats shipped if you want groceries delivered and all that stuff. We're a city. Even though there's the beach, we are a city. You've got all big things that you can
all the amenities that people want and the conveniences that people want.
Exactly.
That's great. So tell me, just as we'll wrap up here, I don't want to go on too much longer because I'm sure, people get weary online about watching long videos. So, hopefully we're giving folks a taste of the Clearwater and St. Pete's area. And certainly if anyone's considering making a move and wants to be connected to Pete, let me know. We can certainly do that for you. What are maybe some 3 biggest questions you get asked, or the 3 biggest surprises when people come from up north to want to start looking at properties down there? What are the big things that are the biggest surprises to people?
The 3 things, and thank you for pointing those out, because I'm a transplant myself. I'm not a native Floridian. I'm from outside of Philadelphia. Flood insurance, I would say, is a huge one. Anytime you're going to live like in that house that was on stilts, you're going to probably still have flood insurance. It varies, but it's certainly something to consider.
Yeah.
The golf cart communities was another thing that a lot of people are asking about. They just think it's cool, and it's, the kids are riding on the back, that sort of thing, and people want that community because they don't know anybody yet. So it's a way to get involved in the community. And then the other thing I was going to say about Clearwater St. Pete is we have so many darn parks and so much recreation. It's insane. I mean, not just to mention 30 some miles of beach,
right.
But rails to trails. We call it the Pinellas Trail. They're making other trails, especially during COVID, because everybody's outside 9, 12 months a year. You can be outside. You're not locked in except in August and September when it's just, but I mean, our parks and recreation is second to none. It really is. So there's a lot to do here.
Well, it sounds like people can certainly love the way they live in the St. Petersburg area. So Pete, thank you so much. I love you. You're my bud. And this has been a great chat. And again, if anybody out there is looking to potentially move and would like to talk to Pete further, just get in touch and I will hook you up. Pete, have a great day. Thanks as always. And I'll talk to you later.
You as well. Enjoy. Bye-bye.